Hello students, this is Professor Dr. Kiran Mingani and we are into the last module, that is module 4 of supply chain management and logistics, and the chapter is chapter 7, design on supply chain management, logistics and use of internet. So particularly the unit is divided into the contents of planning, use of internet. Also will be objectives of the said chapter is to understand demand planning, production and assembly steps, also understanding the sources of procurement and sales return, and e-market, e-procurement, e-logistics, e-fulfillment, all these concepts. That is the particularly we can talk about the use of internet technology when it comes to SCM we are going to discuss. So let us first begin with the demand planning as such. Now, in PPT, while discussing the upstream and downstream, we can say supply chain management process, we have always seen that supply chain management is involving material flow from one side, information flow from both the sides, and money flow from consumer to manufacturer. So, upstream business, particularly or inbound logistics, starts with vendor from vendor, that is the material source supplier, to the producer. We have transportation involved between them. Then we take things to the plant where operations are happening. Then the distribution takes place, wherein we are connecting with the distribution channels and consumers. Now particularly this inbound thing and this outbound thing. Now before proceeding to the market from operations, we need to understand what is the demand in the market. We need to understand the consumer behavior largely when it comes to what, when, how, why they demand. So that particular thing, if it's successful, we can say money flow can take place. So coming back to the main core element of this chapter, that is demand planning, let us first understand SCM. So in the process, what is SCM? SCM consists of integration of planning and execution of all activities required to optimize flow of material, information, money in the areas that includes demand planning, sourcing of procurement, production or assembly, delivery or return excess or defective products. Now when we have seen this particular diagram, it is very evident and clear that material flow takes place, information flow takes place, financial capital flow takes place. So what other things are given in SCM integration? We have sourcing or procurement, we have demand, we have production, okay, and we have reverse logistics. So where is the sourcing and procurement? This part, it's the sourcing and procurement. Where should the demand planning takes place? It comes from this part. Where is the production and assembly? It is in the operation, okay. And what is the reverse logistics? That means return back goods, that is coming from consumer to source, that is the manufacturer. So this is SCM integration. This is something deriving our attention towards demand planning also. So what is demand planning? The demand planning is a step of supply chain management that ensures products can be delivered on time and that the consumers or customers are satisfied at all times. So whensoever we require to answer certain measure our supply chain integration, we talk about whether the goods are delivered on time, whether the consumers are satisfied with the proper lead times. If answer is yes, our demand planning is going in a accurate way, because we have seen planning and forecasting, we have different methods in SCM altogether, qualitative and quantitative. So successful demand planning strategy can increase the accuracy of revenue predictions also, matching inventory level to demand peaks and troughs also, and increasing the profitability of specific channel or product. So if you are successful enough in managing the demand, what you are generating, what is its impact, your revenue prediction whatsoever you have done, कितना पैसा आएगा मार्केट से, वो एकदम सक्सेसफुल होगा और वो रियलिटी में टर्न होगा. उसके साथ आप लोग अपना इन्वेंट्री लेवल जो है वो मैच कर सकते हो, बफर स्टॉक रख सकते हो कि डिमांड के अगर पीक सीजन आ गया या डिमांड में अगर नीचे गिरावट आ गई तो इन्वेंट्री लेवल उस उतना एडिक्वेट रखोगे। और किसी भी स्पेसिफिक चैनल की बात करें तो उसकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी आप इंक्रीज कर सकते हो बाय हैविंग द सक्सेसफुल डिमांड प्लानिंग। मतलब आपस में जो इंटरमीडियरीज जुड़े हुए हैं, होलसेलर्स, रिटेलर्स, इनके बीच में कभी भी कोई इशू नहीं होगा और मार्जिन्स के हिसाब से वो लोग कमाएंगे और मैन्युफैक्चरर तक भी वैल्यू एडिशन पहुंच जाएगा। तो ऐसे केस में labor force, natural disaster, weather patterns, current events and other influences are some of the external and internal factors that demand planners keep an eye on. तो क्या क्या चीजें नोटवर्दी हैं डिमांड प्लानिंग करते वक्त? एक, लेबर फोर्स, मतलब कितने लोग डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में चाहिए। नेक्स्ट, अगर कोई डिजास्टर हुआ है तो हमें मालूम है देयर विल बी बॉटलनेक्स, इश्यूज इन ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, वेयर हाउसिंग। वेदर पैटर्न, क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस को ध्यान में रखते हुए यू विल हैव द गुड्स इन ट्रांजिट प्लानिंग। करंट इवेंट्स, वॉट एवर आर हैपनिंग, लाइक वी सॉ इन कोविड टाइम्स, what happened, we saw bullwhip view in the supply chain management which we have discussed. So all these things are internal and external factors that demand planning people, forecasters, they keep an eye on. The best method to create an accurate prediction and assure integration with supply chain forecast to effectively fulfill customer demand is to collect data from all available sources. This we have seen that in qualitative and quantitative we try to have the market survey, we try to have the you can say research in the market which will definitely talk about the forecasting and accurate prediction, and this way you can integrate your supply chain to fulfill the customer demand. Also, why do at the end of the day supply chain partners needs to have the eye on the demand and accurately in accordance to which they have to plan their production and distribution? What is the importance of demand planning? So we have different factors or different points which are given below. Okay, so very first when we are talking about, it helps you to face changing environment. Yes, because market shifting dynamics, you know that a small amount of, you can say, uh, the adverseness, or you can say the stock ins and stock outs, or any chance of you can say changing weather or transportation bottleneck, all these things are posing the dynamic environment in front of the producers. So demand plans must adapt to the market shifting dynamics as they have to manage the change also. Then managing stock, because companies, they are undergoing the risk of stock outs, buffer stock, disgruntled consumers, warehouses full of idle inventory. So this way we can always talk about, somewhere there will be shortage, sometimes there will be full of stock, idle inventory, which is ultimately a loss for a company. So this way the proper inventory planning is to be done. That also come in the parameters of demand planning. Proactive step, because we know that demand planning itself is a proactive rather than reactive, because what we are doing, that we are adapting to the real time market data and forecasting and predicting the demand in the future. Based on those judgment, we are proactively measuring everything and keeping things ready. So it is proactive measure. Preventing losses, yes, because stock is a evil. People face so much of losses because of idle stock, because of buffer stock, dead stock. So if demand planning is not done properly, forecasting is not done properly, the losses will occur. Improving upon SCM performance, yes, because improvisation of order configuration in right form, which aligns the upstream and downstream process in supply chain management, is the need of hour. So this way you can always talk about that demand planners, they have certain motives in the back of mind, and importance can be measured in terms of facing changing environment, managing stocks, taking proactive steps, preventing losses, and improving upon SCM process. So this is our first particular question relating to demand planning. Then comes the next question, which is production or assembly steps. So we have seen in this diagram operations. Here comes in the manufacturing, here comes the production and assembly steps. So what things may come? These are guided by manufacturing flow, because here you will be applying the factors of production to transform raw material into finished goods. So these factors of production, these will be utilized to transform raw material into finished goods. So manufacturing process flow management charts will be made here in order to see whether you can cut down on the waste, whether you can eliminate recurring bottlenecks of operational flaws, whether you can reduce all kinds of errors which exist in the production of goods and services. So assembling and production, रॉ मटेरियल लेके आओ, उसको असेंबलिंग बोलेंगे हम लोग. प्रोडक्शन स्टार्ट करो शेड्यूल वाइज और वो शेड्यूल बन जाएगा प्रोसेस फ्लो. तो देख लेते हैं कि प्रोसेस फ्लो में क्या क्या चीजें आती हैं, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स इन्वॉल्व्ड इन प्रोसेस फ्लो. तो सबसे पहला प्रोडक्शन करने से पहले मैन्युफैक्चरर को देखना पड़ेगा कि प्रोडक्ट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या है. तो decides on the product aesthetic and functional traits in order to determine the quality it should have. उसका प्रोडक्ट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स का क्या आपको आउटपुट चाहिए इन टर्म्स ऑफ अपीयरेंस, थिकनेस, कलर एंड एवरीथिंग आर द एग्जांपल हियर. देन परफॉर्मेंस कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, बिकॉज यहाँ पे you will also include their level of performance as they will go through entire testing procedures and you need to have the attributes towards that particular products. So performance characteristics. Then they will develop technological requirement, what technology, technique of production is involved for ensuring product characteristics and performance characteristics. तो टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क है. what type of appropriate technology here it will be required. Selecting appropriate प्रोडक्शन प्रोसीजर टू बी यूज्ड इन प्रोडक्शन. अभी कैसा प्रोडक्शन होना चाहिए, तो हमारे पास दो प्रोडक्शन के टाइप्स हैं. एक है जॉब प्रोडक्शन, दूसरा है बैच प्रोडक्शन. जॉब प्रोडक्शन वो है कि अगर प्रोडक्शन कैरी आउट होगा, परचेज ऑर्डर स्पेसिफिक टेलर्ड स्पेसिफिकेशन फ्रॉम कस्टमर कमिंग, तो हम लोग कहेंगे कि जॉब प्रोडक्शन है. बैच प्रोडक्शन क्या होगा, कुछ सर्टन इक्विपमेंट्स जैसे जैसे रेडी होते हैं, वो रॉ मटेरियल जैसे जैसे आता है वैसे बैच प्रोडक्शन होता जाएगा. मतलब अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए अलग अलग इनपुट्स चाहिए होते हैं, तो उसमें प्रोडक्शन जो होगा वो बैच प्रोडक्शन के हिसाब से होगा. और जॉब प्रोडक्शन में सीधा कस्टमर से जो डिमांड आती है वैसे आइटम्स ऑलरेडी परचेज करके ABC एनालिसिस करके प्रोडक्शन किया जाता है. सो एग्जाम्पल्स आर गिवन. On Monday, engine part number 1 is created by machine A, engine part number 2 is created by machine B and so on. तो ऐसे केस में बैच प्रोडक्शन में क्या होगा, मशीन A पहले परफॉर्म करेगा, मशीन B बाद में परफॉर्म करेगा, क्योंकि ऐसे ऐसे यहाँ पे परफॉर्मेंस कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स दिए जाएंगे प्रोडक्ट को. फिर परफॉर्म्स फ्लो प्रोडक्शन. अभी फ्लो प्रोडक्शन का मतलब क्या है, if there is a constant demand for the product without waiting for entire batch to be finished, a unit is made at one stage of manufacturing then moves to other. तो ऐसे केस में क्या होगा, जैसे जैसे कांस्टेंट डिमांड उस प्रोडक्ट का मार्केट से आएगा, उस हिसाब से एक एक बैच को लेके प्रोडक्शन कंप्लीट होगा. मतलब अगर पर्टिकुलर मार्केट ए, वहां से if they want to deliver the products in the market A, what they will do, they will start the production as per the demand and batches. पहला फ्लो कंप्लीट होगा, दूसरा फ्लो कंप्लीट होगा, और ऐसे केस में what will happen, the sub-assemblies will move from one production stage to next until it is finished. So this method of production is used in auto industry. Then describing its technical components. So technology wise, mechanical, electrical, chemical, other components you have to determine. You have to determine the resources required for production process. You have to create a list of raw material, industrial supplies, tools, all things which are needed. Then subjecting the production resources. Finally, तो ऐसे केस में you will check the warehouse station for production for each stage of production. So what things you will be checking? You will be checking all kind of machinery equipments available. You will load the raw material into machinery. You will use the inputs such as supplies and material at each stage of production. Checking upon the output quality, because quality inspection and management will also take place hand in hand. And during each stage of production process, we can say damages, variances, malfunctions, all are reported. So corrective actions will be taken so that putting back the equipment which requires repairs and maintenance, or it will involve all operational errors, equipment damage. So this way we can say that check on the output quality and quantity will be made in the end, and this is something which is involving the steps in production process when you need to check upon the quantity and quality of output. So maintenance part will be there, verification, implementation, design, requirements. So what you are doing exactly, the manufacturer are right from the maintenance, then they verify things, then they implement with the help of machinery, they design things as per the plant layout, and then they see the requirements. Or if we want to see it vice versa, we have very first requirements coming, then design happening of plant layout, implementation is done, verification of products which are manufactured is done, and finally looking out for the inspection. We have to see the damage control, we have to see the wastages, so maintenance part is also adequately handled. So this way we can talk about the production and assembly steps. Now we have sourcing of procurement. So in this particular diagram we have already seen where is the sourcing placed in entire supply chain process. So sourcing is placed between vendor and manufacturer. Okay, sourcing मतलब raw material components का vendor से खरीदी करना. तो सोर्सिंग फंक्शन बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट फंक्शन है परचेजिंग डिपार्टमेंट का. सप्लायर्स, अलग अलग सप्लायर सोर्सेज को आइडेंटिफाई किया जाता है और परचेज किए जाते हैं बेस्ड ऑन दी विन विन सिचुएशन, नेगोशिएशन, म्यूचुअल डील्स बिटवीन सप्लायर एंड मैन्युफैक्चरर. तो सोर्सिंग में क्या होता है, इन जनरली सोर्सिंग कीप्स अ लिस्ट ऑफ एक्सेप्टेबल सप्लायर्स फॉर कंटिन्यूइंग परचेज. ओके, सो मैन्युफैक्चरर क्या करेगा, उसके पास जो जो रॉ मटेरियल की रिक्वायरमेंट है उसके हिसाब से सप्लायर्स की लिस्ट भी उसके पास होगी. तो ऐसे केस में आपके पॉसिबल सप्लाई चेन पार्टनर्स बन जाते हैं वो. तो आप उनके साथ जब भी डील करते हो तो यू स्टार्ट द डीलिंग्स विद कोटेशन इनवाइट, दैट इज रिक्वेस्ट फॉर कोट्स, देन रिक्वेस्ट फॉर प्रपोजल्स, देन रिक्वेस्ट और इन्विटेशन टू बिड. तो अलग अलग सप्लायर से आप लोग बिडिंग इन्वॉल्व करवाते हो, इनवाइट करवाते हो, और फिर बेस्ट पॉसिबल सोर्स से आप लोग सिलेक्शन करते हो सप्लायर का, और उस हिसाब से यू बाय द मटेरियल्स, परचेज द मटेरियल फ्रॉम देम. दिस इज द मेथड ऑफ सोर्सिंग. Okay, so this way when we talk about the sourcing as very important function in supply chain management, what it will be looking into, it will be looking into handful, or you can say few suppliers with through to whom you can make your supply chain partner. So the process or steps of sourcing will involve all these things which are given below. So very first thing, इट इज एनालाइजिंग द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नीड्स। बस सबसे पहला आपको ये ध्यान में रखना है कि आपको ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या क्या चाहिए, इनपुट क्या क्या चाहिए। तो ऑर्गन एम्प्लॉइज मस्ट ऑल्सो डिफाइन द कैटेगरीज ऑफ स्पेंडिंग एंड असेसिंग देयर स्पेंडिंग पैटर्न्स। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू आर परचेजिंग ऑफिस सप्लाईज लाइक टी, कॉफी एंड स्नैक्स और सॉफ्टवेयर और मेंटेनेंस सर्विस, तो आपके इस केस में व्हाट विल हैपन, you should always align your supply chain management in terms of what do you want, how much volume you want, and who can be your supply chain partner. Marketing research is very necessary because you are identifying and looking out for the potential suppliers. So you are examining market offerings, you are assessing the risk and opportunity. किसी supplier के साथ जुड़े रहने के साथ risk और opportunities क्या है, उसके अलावा कॉस्ट एलिमेंट क्या होगा, लेबर, रॉ मटेरियल, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट, ये तीनों भी सोर्सिंग के ही फंक्शन है। देन स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लानिंग फॉर सोर्सिंग, क्योंकि थर्ड फेज में आप क्या करोगे, बेस्ट स्ट्रेटेजी चूज करोगे जहां से आपका रिड्यूस्ड कॉस्ट को दिमाग में रखते हुए और जो गारंटी करेगा सप्लाई चेन स्टेबिलिटी को। तो पोटेंशियल सप्लायर्स इस स्टेप पे फिल्टर हो जाएंगे और बेस्ट पॉसिबल सोर्स चूज किया जाएगा। देन सप्लायर के फॉर्मेलिटीज एंड प्रपोजल्स, जैसे मैंने कहा पहले कोटेशन मंगाना, उसके बाद प्रपोजल मंगाना, फाइनली दोनों पार्टीज के बीच में डील होगा, प्रोजेक्ट बनेगा और रिक्वेस्ट फॉर प्रपोजल में दिखाया जाएगा सप्लायर्स जो भेजेंगे उसमें कितना कॉस्ट एनालिसिस है, डिलीवरी और क्वालिटी पार्ट के बारे में भी डिस्कस किया जाएगा। देन यू हैव नेगोशिएशन पार्ट, जहाँ पे वेंडर कोड्स के हिसाब से आप लोग क्लैरिटी लोगे, सप्लायर्स को शॉर्टलिस्ट करोगे फॉर चीपर प्राइसेस, बेटर पेमेंट टर्म, बेनिफिट्स एक्सेट्रा। Negotiation will be based on certain factors including quality, pricing, reputation, market recognition, potential risk. Then you will start coordinating with suppliers. You will notify them with who is the best vendor who is chosen, and sourcing team should have the continuous or follow-up communication strategies with the suppliers. Then of course there will be follow-ups and performance analysis. Now what is this follow-ups and performance analysis? Wherein we are trying to measure each supplier based on QCD factor, that is quality cost delivery factor, which are obviously considered as KPI, that is key performance indicators. So this way sourcing or procurement also follows certain steps. It also follows certain guidelines through which what we are doing, through which we are trying to gauge the suppliers. In this particular diagram we can see that sourcing being a very important function in supply chain management, which is obviously involving some kind of strategy to be done on the part of manufacturer. Then we have sales return for defective or excess product. This particular concept we have also realized its you can say core elements in reverse logistics. So talking about reverse logistics again, first of all seeing that what goods sales return process involve which steps. So what is sales return, particularly known as, popularly known as reverse logistics? It is a part of supply chain जब भी बायर्स से सेलर्स तक वापस गुड्स आते हैं। क्यों आते हैं? डिफेक्टिव प्रोडक्ट की वजह से, रॉन्ग डिलीवरीज की वजह से, कोई भी अगर चूक हो गई होगी QCD में, क्वालिटी कॉस्ट डिलीवरी में, या रिसाइकलिंग के लिए, डिस्पोजल के लिए, रिफर्बिशिंग के लिए, मेंटेनेंस के लिए, रीसेल के लिए। तो एक तरह से जो रिवर्स लॉजिस्टिक्स है उसके जो स्टेप्स हैं, या हम लोग जो कहेंगे गुड सेल्स रिटर्न प्रोसेस है, उसके 5 इजी स्टेप्स हैं। पहला है प्रोसेस रिटर्न। जैसे ही रिटर्न आता है कस्टमर से तो करना क्या है? When a customer indicates that they want to return goods, the return process begins. This stage specify the product condition and include the return authorization. यहाँ पे पेपर वर्क होता है कस्टमर और मैन्युफैक्चरर के बीच, जिसमें प्रोडक्ट की कंडीशन किस हिसाब से खराब है और उसका एक तरह से डॉक्यूमेंटेशन पार्ट जो होता है वो इन्वॉल्व होता है। इस प्रोसीजर में रिटर्न को वापस से शिपमेंट मतलब वापस से ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाता है, रीइंबर्समेंट को अप्रूव करने के लिए लेटर्स कम्युनिकेट होते हैं, एंड एक्सचेंजिंग ऑफ डिफेक्टिव आइटम्स टेक्स प्लेस। सेकेंड इज हैंडल रिटर्न्स. एक बार गुड्स वापस आ गए आपके साइट पे, आपका जो प्रोसेसिंग फैसिलिटी है उसको एस्टेब्लिश करेगा टाइप ऑफ रिटर्न कौन सा है. ये क्या ये वापस से मैन्युफैक्चर करना है, क्या इसको रीडिजाइन करना है, क्या उसको रिसाइकलिंग करना है. देन मूविंग द रिटर्न्स अलोंग बाय डिलीवरिंग फिक्सेबल थिंग्स टू रिपेयर डिपार्टमेंट. मतलब आप रिटर्न को फाइनली डिपार्टमेंट को डाल देते हो सो दैट यू कैन कट डाउन ऑन योर डेली ट्रैश. रिपेयर स्टार्ट हो जाता है, इसका फिक्सिंग स्टार्ट हो जाता है और हो सकता है कि कुछ पीसेस भी सेल करने पड़े. रिसाइकल, you can send any product which you can't repair or repurpose, you can sell it to local recycling facility also if it is totally scrap in nature. So this way this sales return involves process return, handle returns, moving the returns along, repairs and recycling. This particular part we have already done in reverse logistics, in which we have discussed that what are the elements which are involved in reverse logistics as such. We have seen the examples also. So slide is very much here. Okay, so logistics is a supply of goods from point of origin to point of destination. The customer is the point of destination. Customer awareness needs customization. Online shopping, delivery apps are opened. The new branches, that is reverse logistics. Reverse logistics is the process of moving goods from place of use to place of manufacture to reprocess, refill, repair and product disposal. Then scope, refilling, repairs and refurbishing, product recall, recycling, waste disposal, remanufacturing. This is the diagram where we have seen the relevance of forward logistics and reverse logistics. So this way, even when we talk about the components of reverse logistics, whatever things now in the return we have seen, we are doing the same things in components of reverse logistics, that is product location, product collection system, product recycling, documentation system. So need to tally with this particular part: processing return, handling return, moving returns, repair and recycling. All these things are given in this components of reverse logistics, wherein we are talking about the product location, we are talking about the product collection system, we are talking about the product recycling, and also we are talking about the documentation system. So what happens that this return management vis-a-vis reverse logistics we have done. Now next, second part of this chapter is use of internet in supply chain management. So we will be all things we are going to learn in supply chain management by correlating it with the virtual world going on, or the e-market, or you can say online technologies going on. So we need to understand what is e-market. We need to understand that what are the characteristics of e-market, what is e-procurement, what is e-fulfillment and e-logistics as such. So that will be done in the next lecture. E-fulfillment is also very important. Questions asked are demand planning, we have done today. Write a note on sourcing of procurement.